Now, before we start coding and learn all about React, let's quickly set up our development environment in this lecture. Now, since you're taking this course, I'm assuming that you already did some coding before, and therefore you will already have some code editor installed on your computer. And if that code editor is VS Code, then congratulations, you're already using the best code editor out there. But if you're using some other code editor, then I would highly recommend you to download VS Code simply by downloading the installer from here and then installing it just like any other application. And by doing so, you can then customize the editor just like I do in this course, which will make it a little bit easier for you to follow everything. Next up, of course, we need a web browser to actually run the applications that we are going to build. And I'm using Google Chrome for that. And so I highly encourage you to use the same browser so that our results are going to look the same. So if you don't have it installed yet, then make sure to do that right now. And finally, we are going to need to install Node.js on our system. And this is not because we will do some Node.js development, but it's simply because all the tools that we're going to use run on Node.js. And it's important that you use at least Node version 18. And so if you're not sure about which version you are currently running, or if maybe you never installed Node.js before, then please go ahead and download it here from this first button. And it doesn't matter if it's Node 18 or 20 or 22 or whatever, because of course this Node version will change in the future, but what matters is that it is at least version 18. Okay, and with these three tools in place, let's now configure VS Code a little bit. So open up a new VS Code window, which will then look something like this. So it might have changed a bit in the future, but basically it will look something like this. And so here from the left sidebar, let's now install two essential extensions. The first one is ESLint, which is a code linter. So basically a program that will automatically find errors in our code or find some best practices that we're violating. And maybe you have already used this linter before, but if not, really make sure to download it. It's really popular with over 25 million installs. Then another extension that we really need is Prettier, because Prettier will automatically format our code. For example, to remove empty lines and stuff like that. And this is really important for you to follow this course because it will make your code look exactly the same as my code in the videos. And so that will help you find any bugs that you might have created. So please go ahead and download this extension here. And if we need any more extensions throughout the course, we will then just install them as we go. Now, about the color theme that I'm using here, it is called One Monokai. So that's this one down here. So again, if you want your editor to look just like mine, then just go ahead, download it here, and then set the color theme. You can also do that down here. All right. Now, besides this overall color theme, I also use a theme for the file icons in the file tree. And so that one's called Material Icons. And so make sure to download this one as well, and then set this file icon theme, which again, you can also do it down here. All right, so with this, we tweaked the appearance of our VS Code a little bit. And of course, you can go ahead and install as many extensions as you'd like, but I will now move on to set some settings. So that's very important as well. And the first one is the autosave setting. So you can just search that here. And probably this is already the default, but I'm not really sure. So just make sure to set autosave to on focus change, which will ensure that your code gets saved each time that you go to a different tab or to a different window. Next time, we need to now set the Prettier extension that we installed as our default formatter. So that's this setting right here. So make sure to set it here to Prettier code formatter. So otherwise, sometimes VS Code doesn't know how to activate Prettier. And then also we want to tell VS Code to do this formatting on save. So let's search for the setting format on save, and then let's simply turn this on right here. Then about ESLint, we can set the ESLint run setting here and set it to on save. So basically, by default, ESLint will run each time that you type a new character, which might be a bit too much. And so by setting this here, ESLint will only check our code each time that we save it, which usually is more than enough. But of course, if you want, you can also leave the default, which is on type. Okay, so that's all the settings that we need. Next up, let's quickly make sure that you actually have Node.js installed now. And so for that, let's open up a new terminal, which I like to do using this shortcut that you should see up here on the screen. And so then, to check your Node version, just type node-v. And so make sure, again, that your Node version is at least version 18. And if not, just go ahead and install it once again. All right, and now to finish, let's just set up some snippets. So snippets are basically some pieces of predefined code that we can use to greatly speed up development. So I actually prepared a file of 3 snippets that we're going to use a lot, and they are here in these starter files that we downloaded from GitHub right in the first section. So make sure to open it up, and this file is right here in the very first folder called setup. So let's open this file here, for example, by dragging and dropping it here onto this VS Code icon. But if for some reason that doesn't work for you, you can of course always just open it here the normal way. Right? Then just select everything and copy it. So copy this entire code and then come down here to user snippets. All right. And then it might be that you already have some snippets file. And so in that case, you can just open one of them. But if not, just go ahead and create a new snippets file by clicking here on this option. So I will just use this one that I already have. And let's just pretend that it's empty. So I will just empty it out. And then I will copy paste that code from here to here. So what we have here are 3 snippets. This one is to easily create a console.log. This one is to create a React functional component. So that's what this RFC stands for. And this one is for a React style component. And we will see what these do later. So for example, this first one here, to just print to the console, will be activated each time that we type CL in a JavaScript, a TypeScript, or a React file. And it will then replace that CL with this console.log. And it will also then place the cursor between these parentheses, which is going to be really useful. So this is really powerful stuff. And again, we will come back to these other 2 and use them later. Okay, and with this, we're actually done. So we're all set up to now move on to finally start learning React and to start writing our own code. So hopefully I see you soon in the next lecture.